Local presentation of Read About It is made possible in part by a grant from Cox Communications of Oklahoma City, proud sponsor of this effort to promote reading, education, and literacy in our community. The following public service program is brought to you by the Metropolitan Library System. And now, Read About It, with your host, B.J. Williams.
We have a wonderful lineup for you today, including Glenda Carlisle. But first, I'll be talking with Bob Burke. I was teasing him earlier that we have the Bob Burke Week every month here. He's written so many books. But Bob is a local attorney and has written more books on Oklahoma history than anybody else. Isn't that right, Bob?
That's what they tell me.
Well, it does seem like you're out here every week. You've done 8 books this year, haven't you?
It has been. This has been an unusually active year. I don't want to do that many in any one year in the future, though.
Right. But it takes a little bit of time away from other things.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, there's just so many hours in the day.
Yeah. Well, the book that you're here to talk about mostly today is He Got It, and it was written with Janice Teagans, and it's about the very beloved sportscaster Bill Teagans.
Yes, in fact, probably ought to explain the title. Any OSU fan, especially a basketball fan, would know what He Got It means. Because Bill, when one of the Cowboys hit a three-pointer, he would say, "He got it." So, but we found in writing the book, and by the way, of my 52 books, this is the only one I ever cried while writing it. Mm-hmm. It's, of course, a very sad story. People know that Bill and 9 others died in January of 2001 when the OSU plane crashed in Colorado on the way back from a Colorado basketball game. However, we discovered something else. Bill Teagans got it in another way. He was beloved, as you say. But he got it because he loved his God, his family. He was a wonderful father, wonderful husband. He and Janice were married 27 years. They met in a romantic storybook fashion, working at a grocery store in Tulsa a long time ago. But he got it loving the things that he should love. And he always gave back to his community. We're all familiar with the Bill Teagans Golf Classic. He helped the Arthritis Foundation for many, many years, but so many charities. He gave back to his community, so he really did get it.
Mm-hmm. How was it different? You said this was the only one that you cried over, and I know you've done at least one book when the subject was still living, so you could go talk to him, but this is
different. And also this is written in first person. Mm-hmm. It's written Janice saying, "I first met Bill at a certain time." It's mm-hmm. first person, so it was different there, but what we did was Janice spent a lot of time in front of her computer, pouring her heart into that, of feeling, for instance, I challenge anyone to read the prologue of this book without a box of Kleenex nearby, because it's very sad. Janice was a flight attendant for Delta Airlines at the time, and she is in Boston when she finds out that Bill lies dead on a frozen tundra in Colorado, and their daughter is in college in Minnesota. So it's just a heart-ripping scene as she finds out about Bill's death and has to tell their daughter on the telephone mm-hmm. that her daddy is dead. But what she did was just simply sit down and put her feelings on paper. And then I took those and tried to put them into a book. Coach Eddie Sutton has written the foreword to the book, and it's an inspired foreword.
Yes, it
is. The first foreword he has ever written for a book. And he had a great relationship with Bill, and it's really neat. To show you how Bill was so beloved, after he died, Channel 9 and Janice received more than 6,000 emails or sympathy cards. And there was a general theme among those messages. People would say something like, "I never met Bill, but every evening he came into my home with that contagious smile and became part of our family." So if anyone reads this, I would want them to come away with the idea of saying, "Oh, gee, now I know why I liked Bill Teagans so much." Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I found it very interesting that Janice was able to go back to the beginning. Apparently, his daddy was in Germany when he was born, and his mother
yes.
kept a detailed record.
Oh, yeah, during the Korean War. In fact, Bill Sr. never saw him for the first 17 months. He couldn't come home, yeah. and found out by telegram that his son had been born. Bill was born Bill Jr., Bill Teagans, was born in Minnesota, but they came to Tulsa. His father worked for the retail credit company, and mm-hmm. they came to Tulsa very early in life. And mm-hmm. he was a guy who loved life, loved sports, ate and breathed sports, and always bragged to people that he was the only guy in town who got paid for doing something he wanted to do, you know,
Right.
for having fun. And he really had fun reporting to Oklahomans about sports.
Yeah. If you can find that job, you're in
That's
seventh
right.
heaven.
I have that.
Very good.
I love what I do.
Well, I often tell people, you know, it's really hard. I get paid to read books.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just hard stuff. One of there are some very enjoyable, you know, chuckling things in here.
Yes, because he was a light-hearted guy, so all of the practical jokes, and there are a lot of light-hearted moments in with that story that had to be told of the plane crash.
Right. But one of the ones I appreciated, I guess partly because I have lived in Amarillo, Texas. When he got his first job, they wanted him to change his name because it was one of those funny furrin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
names.
Tietgens is the real spelling. And that first news director out in Amarillo said, people will always mispronounce that. So it was never Teegins, but everybody knows him that way.
But his grandfather didn't understand.
Oh no, oh no.
What's the matter with those
That's
people
right.
down there?
Don't those people in Texas know how to spell or pronounce anything? It was always pronounced the same way, just the spelling was confusing.
Well, and I have to admit, I often say, you know, I ask people how to pronounce their names because I'm an Okie.
We have our own way of pronouncing things
Right,
anyway.
right. But it is a wonderful story, as you said, of a man, and I think also of a marriage.
Oh, yes.
Very much.
Yeah, it really is. It's a very neat Oklahoma story about a couple of kids who fell in love at a grocery store and Bill was certainly prematurely, but they say, you know, the good are taken early.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes they are, but sometimes they find somebody to write a book about them. So.
That's right.
So He Got It by Janice Tietgens and Bob Burke. We've got just a couple of minutes, and one of the other things that you do when you're not practicing law, we had Sandy Myers on talking about this book, but
Yes.
you were pretty involved in this one as well.
Oh, yeah, Art Treasures of the Oklahoma State Capitol. I think the most beautiful book ever published in Oklahoma. Carol Harrelson, the award-winning book designer, did this, and the color, the exact color. In fact, as a test, I took the book out to the state capitol and held it up to many of the paintings, and the color is true. It's really true. I think Oklahoma State Capitol is now the most beautiful in the land. And this book tells a history of the Capitol. It's the coffee table book of the season.
Well, even if you finished all of your Christmas shopping, now you can get this through the Oklahoma Heritage Foundation.
Yes, and every bookstore in town has
every
them.
bookstore in
Absolutely.
town.
All the bookstores have them. It's the real hot book for Christmas this year in Oklahoma City or in Oklahoma, just because it is such a beautiful coffee table size book, and it's reasonably priced because all the proceeds go to two nonprofit entities at the Capitol that restores and acquires new art. So it goes to a very worthy cause.
So you can feel good several different ways when you buy
Absolutely.
this
In
book.
fact, on the Tietgens book, all the proceeds of the Bill Tietgens book go to the Arthritis Foundation and to OSU in honor of, there's a Bill Tietgens Scholarship Fund. So as usual, I have a good law practice and I don't do books for profit, but these two books, both hot sellers in the Christmas season, the money goes to very worthy causes.
And you can cover the waterfront.
Okay.
Sports lovers and art lovers.
Absolutely. Yeah. From art to sports, anybody on your Christmas list, you can find them at all bookstores.
Right. Thank you very much, Bob.
Hey, it's my pleasure always.
We've had with us Bob Burke. He's been talking about He Got It, the story of Bill Tietgens, and also Art Treasures at the State Capitol. Coming up next, we have Susie Beasley. She'll be talking with Phil Talbert about a video for our kids.
Phil, what is this video about? Holidays for children, Hanukkah and Passover?
Well, this is one of the series of Schlesinger videos. It's a 30-minute video on both of those holidays, Hanukkah and Passover. And it gives, it's mainly intended for children, but I think it's informative enough that anyone could learn a lot about those two holidays. Right. This time of year, of course, we're looking at those two holidays, especially the Hanukkah right now. And of course, it talks about all of the traditions of both holidays, the customs of Hanukkah as well as of Passover, the foods that you eat during that time, the traditional things that you do, the celebration type things, the games that the children would play.
Right.
And it showed them doing some of those things and the children being involved and working with their parents and other adults as well. So it's a good overview and a good way to present those two holidays for the kids.
And so you can use it in different ways. You mentioned
Yes.
this for children, but
Right.
adults would be
Sure.
interested in using it, and it's licensed for performance.
Right.
So for a school or just a
I would
learning
say
tools, for
school,
curriculum
library
material?
programs, any type of thing where you wanted to teach the customs and traditions of that particular
For
each one of
Jewish
those
celebration.
celebrations.
So,
exactly.
and of course Hanukkah, it's a festival of lights. and-
Festival of Lights during the winter season, and so it's has its own set of traditions and things that you have to do. The 8 candles for the 8 days.